Now a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a garland of 12 stars. Then being with child, she cried out in labor and in pain to give birth. The first thing to notice concerning the woman clothed with the sun is that she appears as a great sign in heaven. Keep this in mind. Who is this woman? Galatians chapter 4 gives us understanding. For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, one by a slave woman and one by a free woman. But the son of the slave was born according to the flesh, while the son of the free woman was born through promise. Now this may be interpreted allegorically. These women are 2 covenants. One is from Mount Sinai, bearing children for slavery. She is Hagar. Now Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia. She corresponds to the present Jerusalem, for she is in slavery with her children. But the Jerusalem above is free, and she is our mother. Who is the woman clothed with the sun? She represents the new covenant promise of God, which corresponds to Jerusalem above or in heaven. What does the sun represent? It represents the glory of the new covenant. Not that we are sufficient in ourselves to claim anything as coming from us, but our sufficiency is from God, who has made us competent to be ministers of a new covenant, not of the letter, but of the Spirit. For the letter kills, but the Spirit gives life. Now if the ministry of death, carved in letters on stone, came with such glory that the Israelites could not gaze at Moses' face because of its glory, which was being brought to an end, will not the ministry of the Spirit have even more glory? For if there was glory in the ministry of condemnation, the ministry of righteousness must far exceed it in glory. Indeed, in this case, what once had glory has come to have no glory at all, because of the glory that surpasses it. For if what was being brought to an end came with glory, much more will what is permanent have glory. Here again we find our 2 covenants where Paul addresses the old covenant as the letter that kills, the ministry of death and condemnation, as opposed to the new covenant, which is the ministry of the Spirit and righteousness. Note the reference to the glory of the new covenant, which far surpasses that of the old. There are heavenly bodies and earthly bodies, but the glory of the heavenly is of one kind, and the glory of the earthly is of another. There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars, for star differs from star in glory. Here Paul speaks of the glory of the heavenly as opposed to the glory of the earthly. The sun, moon, and stars are all heavenly bodies, where the glory of the sun is greater than the glory of the moon. Why? Because the light of the moon is but a reflection of the light of the sun. In the same way, the glory or light of the old covenant is but a reflection of the greater glory or light of the new. Here's confirmation. And God said, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be lights in the expanse of the heavens to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And God made the 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. And God set them in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth, to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, the 4th day. 4 is the number which represents the world as well as a foundation. This being the case, we find the creation of the two great lights, or sun and moon, on the fourth day, to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. It is the light of the natural sun and moon which typifies the glory of the Old and New Covenants, which together form the foundation of the world, for the New Covenant cannot exist apart from the Old. The Old Covenant speaks of the law, but the New Covenant speaks of its spiritual nature. Owe no one anything except to love each other, for the one who loves another has fulfilled the law. The commandments: you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not covet, and any other commandment are summed up in this word: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to a neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. The woman clothed with the sun speaks of the greater glory of the light of the new covenant over the old, which is why the moon is seen beneath her feet. As for the crown of 12 stars, 12 is the number which signifies governmental perfection and divine authority. And those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the sky above, and those who turn many to righteousness, like the stars forever and ever. The crown of 12 stars denotes the 12 apostles of Christ, for after their baptism by the Spirit in the upper room, they turned many to righteousness. For this reason, and in regard to the household of God, Paul declared that we are built on the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Christ Jesus himself being the cornerstone. There is more to be considered, so let me close this study with the following illustration.